whether we're dealing with perseverance.
So I finally got around to watching the NASA UAP report briefing, and here's what I think. I never expected disclosure to come in the form of a speech from Bill Nelson at NASA. So going into this thing with that expectation, I think is a bridge too far. So I agree with the broad consensus that this was a gigantic, disappointing nothing burger. It felt very folksy to me. It felt very much like, oh, shucks. You know, we're just NASA. We're a scrappy little organization of rough and tumble ragtag misfits, and we love data, and we really do. But I'll tell you something. That good data is hard to come by. Why don't y'all send us some iPhone videos and we'll run it through the computer and see what we come back with. You can bet your boots we're going to tell you if it's aliens, but it's not aliens. I don't know. It felt insulting to be lectured by Bill Nelson again on how big space is. We get it. Like, dude, we get it. Bill, Neil deGrasse Tyson, guys, we got it. The universe is fucking huge. No one's concerned with what's happening in the Delta Quadrant. We're concerned with what's happening here, now. How many of your own astronauts have gone out on missions and then come back and gone on record publicly saying that these things are real, that they've seen them? I mean, dude, you are the space people. You are the data people. To quote Bruce Willis's seminal film, Armageddon. You're NASA. You probably got rooms full of people just sitting around thinking shit up. Like, you are NASA. Why are you coming to us? Like, don't you know? Don't you have the data on all of this stuff? And if you don't, why don't you? Seriously, like, how do you not know? What I do think you're seeing is the entire apparatus of the federal government, up to and including NASA, is reorienting itself and walking back decades of really bad policy on this issue. Why are they doing this? It's not because they want to, and it's certainly not because they think you deserve to know and they're just suddenly coming around to that fact. This government can't do anything other than approve defense spending bills. So, why suddenly is there so much bipartisan support for legislation on UAPs? Are you kidding? Like, the thing that we were told our entire lives was the biggest conspiracy theory of all time, the mother of all conspiracy theories, the one that if you talked about it 25, 30 years ago openly, people thought you were out of your fucking mind. And now we have the Senate Majority Leader writing an amendment to the National Defense Authorization Act that's 64 pages long and mentions the word disclosure over 70 times. Are you kidding me? Where is this all coming from? I'm going to go out on a limb here and say I think it's kind of an open secret that we can likely expect open contact to happen sometime in the nearish future. How near? Could be 10 years, could be 20. Will it happen before we create a super intelligent AGI? Maybe, maybe not. But look, one way or another, something is coming, and there will come a day where all eyes of the world will turn to people like Bill Nelson, NASA, the people at the European Space Agency, the United States military, the Air Force, the government. We're going to be looking to them for answers. So what you are seeing now, starting probably back in 2017 with Tic Tac, Go Fast, Arrow, all these congressional hearings, the Schumer Amendment, all of this stuff that's happening right now is a multi-year process of trying to turn this gigantic apparatus around so that when that day finally comes, when the gigantic aircraft carrier-sized pyramid spaceships appear over every capital in the world, or whatever, something even more spectacular, who knows, or something really mundane. But there's going to come a day where it's beyond covering up, and we're all going to have to get very real about the fact that we are no longer the top of the food chain. And on that day, people are going to turn to NASA, they're going to turn to the governments of the world, And they are going to say, where are we at on this? What's our policy on this? What do you know? And they're not going to be able to say nothing anymore. And they're not going to be able to say it's swamp gas. They're going to have answers. The societal structures that hold our entire civilization together will be taxed to the breaking point. So the connective tissue of how we process something this big has to be strengthened in time for that to happen. So I believe what you're seeing is the ramp up to something that is coming. When it happens and what it's going to look like is anyone's guess. But the conversation has picked up enough steam that I think it's beyond the point of speculation. I think we're there. I think it's obvious that there's an elephant in the room, right? So that's what you're seeing. I think that's what's going on. And I wouldn't sweat this. This is a 12-course meal, okay? 99% of people have no clue what's going on. So this 12-course meal, and we are setting the table right now. So we have a long way to go. Stick with it. Hang in there. Be patient. And just know that where there's smoke, there's fire. And the timeline for this thing is picking up speed. So use your head. Think about it. Keep looking up.